Hey guys, welcome back to Cloudy Talks, and I can't believe it. We got him. We have NDNWolfMan in the house, the long-awaited guest. You ducking me for a while, man. What's up?
What's happening, guys? I'm excited. I'm like nervous and I'm excited. Super fan here.
Superfan NDNWolfMan on Friday the 13th, and the 13th guest.
Nate is a storming outside.
Is it really storming over there?
Oh yeah, it's like thunder, lightning, rain.
Oh
It was a
man.
night just like this one.
It's a perfect time for a podcast for Indian Wolfman. And you know what? This dude, he already got the picture, which you're seeing now. And I think he already got a topic. Take it away, Wolfman.
Oh man, I want to be spitfiring, checking your editing skills, be popping up old stories, video games, movies, topics, your childhood, things you don't remember.
I may have to send this to Proto to edit.
Yes, let's get both of them. Yeah. He sounds like a wise old man. I like hearing the podcast.
What's right? What?
He is like wise, like really
Wise,
wise.
wise. Oh, yeah. He is
You
one
hear him and
strange
talk.
cookie.
Yeah, that's what we need more like that in the world.
Huh. Well, as you see it now, we have Mario with the little
That is
bullet
actually a
bill.
gift. That is actual gift I got for my birthday.
From who?
For my wife, she said, "All right, what's your favorite game of all time?" And
This don't look like a knuckle sandwich.
I don't know, because first I thought of Street Fighter. Like, oh man, Street Fighter's got to be the best. Then I was like, well, maybe Super Mario World, because that was like the first game we've ever played, which got us into video gaming.
See, I think I was lied to because I always told when I was born, the Super Nintendo came in the mail that same day, and then y'all all played that and ignored me. Was that a lie?
Oh no, we went to the store and they were like, "Oh, maybe we should get it. Oh, it's really a lot, you know." This that, and the parents would go talk in private, and we're kind of just standing there. I'm like watching y'all, and I'm like, "Oh, just get it, just get it." Like, no, maybe not, you know. And you try to talk to the salesman, and Dad would try to get him to, you know, what's the discount, or
Oh
should we
God!
get
My
this? Is this the new thing? You know, and I'm just like vaguely. This is either me making it up or dreaming about it, but I remember in the glass shelf where they had to get the key and open the glass shelf, and I was like, there it was. As soon as we got home, all right, guys, it's bedtime. Everybody's got to take a nap. We didn't even get to play. Like that whole thing at the store, like get it, yeah, let's get it. Let's get home. All right, let's open it up, plug it in. I was like, nope. All right, everybody take a nap.
I love that comment. What's the discount? It's like, sir, this is a Walmart. Like, what?
This
This
is
ain't
brand
used
new.
car. It's out of the box.
This is
Yeah,
brand
discount.
new.
Come on, buddy. Throw in a hat.
Does it come with one game? Does it come with one controller?
Oh, gee. All that shit probably went over his head, but.
That's how it was. I mean, you played, you jumped when Mario jumped, you jerked the controller. I remember videos growing up, and it's like me and the most was so animated, jumping and flying, and
So
you know,
here's how
jerking the remote.
This is how it went down in the Cloudy's household. Okay, he probably has his glittery butterfly. The two oldest brothers got to play first, and they only played. And like the little brothers, me and my younger brother would be like off in the wings, being like, "Oh look, you missed this special, you missed that. Oh, there's a thing behind there. There's a secret door." And like that was our job, is to remember all like the secret doors or secret passages, or like in Super Metroid, we'd have to learn where like all the energy tanks are at. And so while y'all played, by the time y'all got bored of it, then the little brothers, little Cloudy, me, will get to play and play like 100 times over. That's
Oh
my
yeah, you'd be like,
memories.
"Oh, wait till I die," and like, "Oh, that
Yeah.
doesn't count. I died too quick. I died too quick." Like, "Oh, sure." I remember writing down the codes when Super Nintendo was like the best system. They'd give you a special code, but every time you beat a level, it could be a different code, and if you didn't write it down, you didn't memorize it, and then you had to start the game all over again.
Oh my gosh, what's the thing my wife always says? Aladdin Jafar, Genie Abu.
Yeah, That's
Platinum
exactly
Boo,
what I
Genie
was thinking
Jafar.
of. Yeah, up, down, left, right, start, select.
Oh yeah, that
That
was
was
like
like
the
the secret
classic.
code. And see, this is before internet, kids. This is before Google. This is before, you had to go get a magazine or know somebody who had the magazine, Nintendo Power. Let's see if you can pull up a picture of that.
Oh yeah, so
And
here's a picture. I'm not showing it.
and then you're thinking, wait, how do I beat this level? And that was like the first game, Super Mario World, that either somebody came to our house and showed us how to beat it because you finally get to the last boss and there's no idea. But then when kids found out on the block, then you had to go their house. And I remember the parent coming by like, hey, I need your son to come over to my house. And mom was like, wait,
No.
what? And it was like the mom and the brother and sister. And then I'd have to walk up the street. Like you was like kind of in trouble. Like, wait, what's going on? And then you'd have to go in their house and beat it on their system.
Ew, I'd be afraid I'd
And
get
then I
molested.
and then I felt like I felt like a hero because I'm like, oh man, only I can do this.
You know what? Now that you're thinking about it, my buddy from high school that we know, that's exactly how he was. His little brother would do that. He'd be like, "Hey, you sit down, play this ice level, or with the water world in Zelda, like the when you're like grown up Link.
Oh yeah.
Remember the water castles? Like, you play this, we're gonna go eat." And so they would literally leave me, go eat dinner like without me, and then they'll come back and check on my progress, and I'd be like fighting the boss. So I'm like, oh
Oh,
my
you be in
gosh.
the bedroom?
Yes,
Like you'd be in their bedroom and
I'll
they'd
be
be
in the
eating?
bedroom alone while him and all
Oh
his
man.
family are like eating because we're all poor. They didn't have no money to feed me. So
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, let me go ahead and beat this water level. I've done it a million times, whatever.
I remember mom feeding the whole neighborhood. People come over like, hey guys, to play games. Back then there was one TV.
Yeah.
One TV with like 4 or 5 different buttons, or you click like maybe 25 channels. So everybody had to share the same TV. Everybody had to watch the same stuff. You were talking in an earlier podcast. Let's do a callback of the Sunday morning cartoons. I never heard of it that way. I've heard Saturday morning
Yeah, I don't know
cartoon,
why I said Sunday.
but we all knew what you meant. And sometimes on the podcast, I can like finish your sentences. Like I know exactly what you're going to say, and I don't know if it's like you and I have like the same sayings we just say over and over again, or go-to phrases. But I felt like a super fan because like, oh, I finished his sentence. Like I'm talking to Cloudy through the TV, and I finished his sentence. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Out one ear.
Yeah, and out the other. I'm telling you, in the other.
It took you
I
5 seconds,
mean,
but you got it.
yeah, that's how it is. I mean, there's probably a delay through the long travels.
No, that's a saying. Out one ear and out the other. Remember? Dad would get pissed
Oh
off and
yeah,
drunk. It's out one
yeah.
ear, out the other.
It's like one of those things that I guess because I was the oldest, so I had the more responsibility to watch over the baby brothers. And it's like that Billy Goat story where the
Who?
Billy Goat tries to go across the road, and they try to beat up the Billy Goat, and you're like, oh no, wait till my brother, he's bigger and stronger.
You sound like such an old man, like an old dad. Billy Goat? What?
Yeah, yeah, the
Are
three
you gonna
Billy
tell me about
Goats.
the
Well,
Itsy Bitsy Spider next?
the three Billy
So there's
Goats.
a
From
spider, right? And he
1965.
was climbing up. No, I don't know. I had no idea what you're talking about.
The three Billy Goats. You don't remember that story?
No.
Well, you were the middle child, so I don't think they had middle child stories.
You know any like caveman stories or anything?
Yeah, caveman stories. I'm so glad at work that I'm the actual old guy. We're gonna deem you the old guy. I'm like, great. I've waited my whole life. I was always the young guy. Don't talk to him. He's 13 and a half. Hey, don't talk to that chick over there. You're too young.
I don't
And
think
now
that's
I'm just
stalking.
like the old guy. Now I'm just the old guy referencing all these movies and games, and people are like, Foo Fighters. I don't know who the Foo Fighters are.
Oh
And I'm like,
hell!
that's relevant. Like, how do you not know who the Foo Fighters are? That happened to me like 2 weeks ago.
I watched that documentary, and I think the best part is when he did some live show. I think it was SNL with Tom Petty, and Tom
Yeah.
Petty called him, was like, "Hey, we want you to be our drummer. We're gonna go start a tour next week. Let's go." And he turned down Tom Petty. He's like, "No, I'm starting my new band, I'm doing my own thing. And he said he like hung up the phone all slow and was like, okay, well, this is it. I guess this has to work now. And then he had his cassette with all his little songs, and that's like the time he started Foo Fighters. Like, okay, now I'm all
Pull
in.
up a photo of Foo Fighters for a younger audience who don't know who the Foo Fighters are.
That
I
dude's all
just
down.
saw Dave Grohl on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and they were doing like the slow song you had to guess, or they would do a different genre, or they would do one note at a time. And like the last song was like his song, and he didn't even get it. And I even knew it, but I just didn't know the name of the song. And he goes, "That's your song." He goes, "That's a Nirvana song." He goes, "I don't even know my own songs. I guess I don't know." And it was Lithium by Nirvana, but they did it kind of like a reggae or like a slow classical.
I didn't know this, but also watching that documentary, I don't think. I mean, he was like the eighth drummer, so I wonder if he even was on the album that Lithium was on. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably why. I remember going to a concert with you, one of our old childhood friends. Um, and Dave Grohl just comes out and just plays the last song with the band. And you're like, "Oh, that's right. They're playing tomorrow or
Oh,
in 2 days. Hey, let's just go sleep on the street and then like wait for the concert." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, "Yeah, let's just stay here.
that's
We
insane.
can
I
just watch the
completely forgot.
concert."
I guess I did see Dave Grohl.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, and I wasn't like a huge, I was never like a huge fan of the Foo Fighters, I guess, because they overplayed their songs all the time.
Oh, 100%.
But when you watch the documentaries or like the interviews, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this band."
They're
They
just
just
the
seem like
band
down to
that's
earth.
consistent. They're consistently putting out music, hits, catchy songs, songs you see on movies, radio, TV, even like the B-sides or whatever. Like
I
the
think I
deep
even
cuts are
sent
good.
you a video for Cloudy Reacts where
Really?
they played in New York and Dave Chappelle sung on stage with them.
Oh, that was for a Cloudy React. See, did you watch the one I sent you though?
No, I don't think so.
Terrible. Watch that one. It's good. For everybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, too bad.
Maybe I did watch it.
Maybe it was
I don't know. I
Prince.
think YouTube, I think besides video games, I think YouTube is like the best technology. It's like a double-edged sword because I can reference something from my childhood or our childhood and nobody understands and you're like, "Oh, just let me pull it up on YouTube real quick." And you can just type in like three random words and then it'll pop up a video of something you watched when you were 2 or 3. You somehow still remember.
Yeah, I think YouTube is owned by Google, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it was just some kid that created it and then sold it to some conglomerate, some corporation.
Yeah, I think they're owned by Google. I don't know, but yeah, YouTube. I'm on YouTube all day, every day, dude. Like I just posted a video, Cloudy fans, and it's like has almost 200 views. And so I was working out, and so I would do my little workout, and then I have like a minute rest, and so I'd run over to my phone, check the views. Like, dang it, I got another thumbs down. Go run real quick, do my workout, come back. It's addicting, dude. Watching YouTube and even uploading to YouTube.
You're probably hitting buttons in your pocket. Is your phone in your pocket or is it on the treadmill?
What are you talking about, button, but? No, I'm saying like I'm on YouTube all the time. I'm even
Sometimes
pissing
I
off wife right
scroll
now.
on YouTube or Facebook and like I accidentally hit a like. I'm like, I didn't hit a like.
So you ain't liking my videos,
Like,
but you like some random videos?
yeah, oh yeah, all the time.
Oh,
No, I like your videos all the time. I just say I like them. I guess I'm so old school. I just yell at the TV, "I
you
like
declare it
this.
out loud to
I
the
like
sky.
this." Yeah,
I
put your fist in
like
the air and be
it.
like, fist pump and be like, "I like this."
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the Pink Floyd one is the one we just got through watching, and I was surprised you didn't play the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz at the same time.
dude, when I
Have you ever heard that?
was, I think when I
The
was,
lions got to roar like 3 times, and then you hit play. It's supposed to sync with the movie.
I was a freshman, and I found the Dark Side of the Rainbow, which I think, or Dark Side of Oz, Dark Side of the Rainbow. You type that in on YouTube, Cloudy Nights, and you will see like 80 videos of people starting the Dark Side of the Moon along with the Wizard of Oz. And legend has it that the film and the album sync up perfectly together, and there's all these little references within the album that happens in the film. So like one of the parts is like, and then you fall, and then when they say fall or something about that dropping, then she falls off that thing in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, and the house is spinning or whatever.
Yeah, the house is spinning, and there's like all these little references. And so I went on like a 2-month research spree to where I literally watched The Wizard of Oz like 30 times.
Doesn't it have to be like after the lion roars, like the third time you have to hit play?
It's funny you say that. I've never heard that before, and I'm not surprised because I would watch the whole bleeping movie, all of it, listen to it, look for all the little clues in the comments, and then I would scroll down and be like, you idiot, you're supposed to start it at 13.2 seconds, and you're supposed to have the greatest hits version. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's an idiot. And so I would click on that video, and then in the comments after watching the hour-and-a-half movie, it'd be like, no, you're supposed to use the album cut version. I'm like, oh no. It was literally like this perpetual, like somebody in the comment knew more and knew better than the guy who made the video. And so I just went on this rabbit hole of like weeks straight watching that stupid movie, and like intently with all the little cues and hints and different versions, album versions. Oh, this is the 8mm. Oh, you need this. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. And I think that's why YouTube's, because I'll talk to people on YouTube all the time. They're like, I don't watch YouTube. And then you'll hear them reference, oh yeah, yesterday on YouTube I watched. Like, I didn't think you watched YouTube. So I just randomly send videos to like random people like, hey, check this out. Check out this new game. Speaking of games, because I think that's what we started on, Super Metroid. It's like, was Super Metroid my favorite game? Super Mario, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, they all started on the Super Nintendo. And I think that's why the Super Nintendo by far was like the best console.
100% the best. I mean, maybe as far as Nintendo goes, the 64 is a close second. And
because that was new technology. That was the first 3D joystick.
I mean, the games kind of played like crap.
Oh, yeah, but if they didn't have the Super Nintendo or the Color Game Boy, do you remember the Color Game Boy?
We never had it. We had the broke-ass black and white one.
No. We had... No, the Color Game Boy for the SNES. It had the cartridge.
Oh, yeah.
And you put the old school Game Boy in there, and then it made it color on your TV and bigger.
I don't know whose friend it was. I want to say it was your friend. They came over, and they had like a laptop or a computer, and they put the first Pokemon, I want to say on the cell phone or on the computer, and I remember my mind being blown. This is back in like the early 2000s, and they put that game like on a laptop or something, and I was like, how did he put this game into a computer? Oh my god! Which is like nothing today. Like you could probably put it on like a little kid's watch, play the first Pokemon. But I just remember my mind being blown.
It's called the BlackBerry Pi. You could put like 1 million games.
Ew! What the heck?
It's called a BlackBerry Pi, and it's like a size of like a SD card, and it stores all these games, and that's what they put in all these arcade cabinets. Like right now, they have the Super Game Boy or Supra Game Boy, and it's a handheld, and it looks like a Super Nintendo controller. It's like gray, but you can plug your original Super Nintendo controllers in there and use original Super Nintendo cartridges in the handheld, and then you could also plug it up to your TV. And to me, when I saw that at the store, my mind blew up because I'm like, I remember how you had to blow in the cartridges for them to work, which is like an urban legend. And now you could just plug it into a handheld, play it, and then plug it into your TV and have like multiple players.
Oh, you saying you could
use the original? Oh yeah, and they're still making like that Halo. They made a Halo game like 2 or 3 years ago for the Super Nintendo. Like they're still making Super Nintendo games. They're like third parties or like super fans.
No, wait. Where can you get the thing you're talking about, the handheld thing? Can you get it like the Walmart?
Supra, yeah, you can get like a Venture Stock or online. I'm more of an old school. I like to go to the store, buy it, check it out, smell it, touch it.
Well, I had an idea today to get apples and get like a Super Nintendo game because he's kind of interested in it, and do like a podcast slash playthrough to where me and him will sit down and play through like a Secret of Mana 2, Super Metroid or whatever, and like have like a little
You also have the
podcast.
mini console. Doesn't
I
Apple's
do,
have
but
the
I
mini?
don't. I guess I could hook it up to this TV.
Yeah,
I'm
this HDMI.
just I'm just not sure how I could record it as far as hooking it up to my PC. I'll have
Oh
to figure
yeah.
that
Well,
out.
does your PC have an HDMI
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
So that should work. Cool. They actually have third parties now that do that for the PlayStation 2 and N64, where they made an adapter where you plug it in and you can plug it into your HDMI TV and have it in 4K.
I don't know. I'll have to figure out how to do that, or maybe just use the Switch because I don't know. Because like the Wii, you could buy all the old school games, but like the Switch is
I
weird.
guess
Like
the
I
Switch
don't
would be
know.
good because it's like he's used to that, but then it wouldn't be like nostalgia. I don't think it would. To me, you would have to have the original, which is they're probably like $1,000 now if you were to go buy them. And not just that, is they still work. You can buy one from like what was it, 95 when it came out, 94,
Hmm,
and it would still work to this day.
dang. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the good old times. Killer Instinct, Ultra, Ultra, Ultra.
Oh yeah, they made sure that the arcade system was the loudest in the entire store, and the
Really?
people would complain, and the people who bought the arcade would try to open it up and turn it down, but they modified it where you couldn't turn the volume down because they wanted everybody to hear. They're like, all right, we might not have the best visuals, but the sound and the screaming would attract people from like all over the mall or the whole arcade.
Whoa, I never heard that.
Yeah, and then Microsoft bought them out, and then they did the Killer Instinct, and then now Phil Spencer, the owner of the guy who runs Microsoft or Xbox, he's talking about maybe doing a newer one, but he wants like a good collaboration because fighting games is like the number one. I mean, I sent you a reaction of I think it was Maximilian Dude. Shout out to him, and it was like the number one guy of Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He's like the famous
Hmm.
one in the whole world.
You mean like ranked player?
Oh yeah, he's won all these. He does it for a living. He would just tour all these tournaments, and on the podcast they did was he was talking about going to different countries and then how they had to have super settings or certain settings, and that was what the ranked was or the championship was. You had to play like to their settings.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So,
I want to see if I can send you a video right now, or you can pull it up of Evo number 57, which is the most famous. So what got pretty much got Evo started. Have you ever heard of this?
no, but just so everybody knows, watch the podcast. Indian Wolfman's a huge fighting game fan and really video game nerd in general. He does all this research and reading and crap, watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean Marvel vs. Capcom 2 by far. I mean Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I think was like the most famous game that led to, Marvel Champions and then Marvel vs. Capcom 2, 3 and Infinite. And now it's in limbo. They were supposed to do like a 20th or 30th anniversary. And it was supposed to be at Evo this year, and because of the pandemic, they couldn't release it. And so it used to be on like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And if you didn't buy it, it was gone forever. So if you still have those consoles, I think you can still play. But they updated the net code, they updated the characters. And I remember us leaving the Xbox on overnight just to get these games. And I think you talked about it in a past podcast as well. And it ended up catching our Xbox on fire.
Yeah, it started smoking because Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you had to unlock characters. And instead of being a pay for play, which I don't think it was, you would get points, like whatever their point system was. So the more you play online, you get these points and you use that points to unlock. Well, there's like 80 characters, right? And each character costs thousands of points. So what we would do is we would get in a versus match turn the TV off, go to sleep, wake up, and after 8 hours of being in a Virtus match, you just win it real quick, and boom, you get like 10,000 points or whatever, and you go unlock 2 or 3 people, and then we do it again every single night. We did that probably for like a month until the damn thing like exploded, basically.
Yeah, you leave the TV off, so Dad wouldn't be like, "Why is this TV on?" And you just have the Xbox going in 2-player mode and like training.
Okay, name as many video games as you can fighting in 10 seconds. Go.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Rumble Schools, Tekken,
4
Killer
seconds.
Instinct.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man, I'm blanking now.
Fail. Time. You got 6. I talked you up and you got 6?
Smash Brothers. That's the one I was thinking. Oh, Nickelodeon All Stars. Oh man.
Clay, what's that? Clay one? Clay monsters?
Oh, Clay Fighters.
Clay Fighters. Come on, brother. Guilty Gear? You couldn't name Guilty Gear?
Oh, Guilty Gear XR, Guilty Gear X3, Guilty Gear Strive. Well, see, I give up on Guilty Gear because it's on PlayStation only for some reason. So those games I kind of gave up on because
I thought the newest ones were on Xbox.
No, just PlayStation only. Maybe Steam?
I could have sworn I heard the newest one. Maybe not. But yeah, Guilty Gear X2 is probably like my favorite ultimate all-time.
And it was weird because I'd watch y'all play all the time, and I was like, what is this? And the controls are weird. All
It's
the
fast.
different... Yeah, training, and I'm like, I didn't understand it. I remember I'd get a character, and she was possessed, and she had a little foot come out of her head, and I would just tap, like, low kick, and just beat y'all with just, like, this foot coming out of the girl's head.
You might be talking about Dizzy, because I know Zappa is the one that's like possessed. But
Yeah,
Dizzy's
and
kind
then
of
the girl
possessed
would
of
come
like Heaven
out.
to Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably talking about Zappa. Yeah, Zappa was the character that only like the hardcore, like, because he was like super confusing. He was weird. He was almost like a drunken master, quote unquote, type fighter. So he was like really hard to master, but if you did, he was like basically unbeatable.
Yeah, the girl from The Ring would come out and with
Yeah.
the hair in her face. Oh, speaking of The Ring, we watched that today. My
Ew.
wife's never seen that, and I'm surprised she made it 5 minutes.
Did your
That
daughter
was
watch it?
freaky. Oh, no, just the wife. I remember actually seeing the second movie. Here's a fun fact. And I was driving somebody home from the theater, and in the second Ring movie, there was like a deer scene. And it was like so freaking scary. Like it got burned in your eyeballs. That I'm driving home in the middle of the mist, is pitch black, and then the person screams, "Oh my gosh, there's a deer!" And I'm like, "Oh, don't say that," because that was like in the movie. And then all of a sudden, a deer jumped out in front of the car. I hit it. I spun out. It spun down the street, and then their glowing eyes just stared at me. And I was just waiting for the corpse to like get up and like walk towards the car. Like, I don't know if I've ever been that afraid before.
I remember that your car was destroyed. Was that your car, and was it totaled?
Oh, no, because it didn't hit the windshield. It hit the side bumper. And then I figured out that whoever fixed my car before kind of did like this little putty. And so the putty just exploded. And we figured out that insurance, they didn't, put in airbags. The airbags didn't go out. The car got messed up. But I just remember the sheer terror of just seeing the movie and then driving home and then that happening.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember that was creepy. That was out in the boonies, huh?
Oh, yeah. Same street. I swear I hit a werewolf one time. This huge howling wolf dog. I hit it and it just like howled and then it just laid there and I'm like, and I went back like 3 hours later and it was gone. But I remember like driving with the video. This is before dash cam. I would have a video camera in my car because all this weird stuff would happen.
Yeah, you're creeping me out.
Oh, yeah. This is before the dash cam and the GoPro where now everybody just records them driving. Shout out to Proto when he says, "Oh, yeah, I live out in the boonies and there's wolves." I mean, there's wolves everywhere. I mean, you could live in a housing addition and pay HOA dues, but they don't have, a wolf clause in the HOA dues. They just kind of like, hey, keep your kids and your small animals out from outside. The wolves are out tonight.
Yeah, this is getting.
I got video of the wolf.
Nuh-uh.
About a month ago. It was just because the back legs were weird and bent, and it was just like crawling across the
So
street.
this happened
But it wasn't.
recently?
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a dog, because a dog, they're not afraid of cars. This thing was like afraid of the vehicle, and I would catch him sometimes. Late at night, usually around 3 to 3:30 a.m. It's always the same time of night. And I took video and I chased him down and like zoomed in, but I had that fear like it's either going to run through the window or his buddy's going to run up behind me and hit my window, and I don't know.
Like a
Kind of like a
Jurassic
pincer
Park
move.
situation?
Oh yeah, like a pincer move, yeah. Or like one goes one way and one goes the other, and then they go zoom right in the middle.
You're honestly freaking me out. So you're saying this has been happening and you've been keeping this to yourself? I've never heard this. And I hear
Oh
you
yeah.
talk like 20 hours every time I talk to you.
Well, it's like I tell the wife, and then the wife's like, "Oh yeah, like that time you saw the armadillo or the
I think a
raccoons
werewolf's
outside."
a little bit so you work graveyard, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
I see foxes, bunnies, armadillos. I'll dump the trash at 4 in the morning, and then something would jump out of the trash can, and I'm like, well, that was a little bit too fast to be a cat or too loud, and it was a possum. And then you'd see it scurry up the brick, and I'm like,
no, let's go back to the werewolf. So you're saying while driving home at 3 a.m., pitch black dark, you're seeing this creature and it's a recurring event?
yeah,
And you've even rained him down.
yeah. I would put my flashers on and drive and follow this thing because there was different kinds of wolves. The first time I hit that wolf, it was huge, and it walked really funny, like slow motion. Like I could see it in my brain right now, like it happened yesterday. And the way it howled when you hit it, it was kind of like the werewolf in London, American Werewolf in London. If you pull up a picture of that, I
Whoa.
don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie. And then there's this other kind of dog I would see by the cemeteries, and they reference in like lore, urban legends, like a hellhound.
Yeah.
And it would be like a black dog with red eyes, real mangy looking, and mange, really scrawny, like weird mouth. And I would see it by the cemetery, and I'm thinking like, am I the only one seeing this? Because that's why I would drive around with a video camera. This is before video was on phones, where it was like normal to take pictures or videos. Like you had to have like a handheld like camera with like an actual tape.
Dude.
And it was like the same street. I would drive the same curve.
Yeah.
And then one night there was an old man standing in the middle of the street with a trash bag in his hand. He had like shorts, a wife beater, and like overalls.
You didn't
And he
stop
was
and
just
say
standing
anything?
there. No, he was waiting for somebody, and it was not me. I can tell you that.
Oh.
At 3 in the morning, he turned the curve, and I'm like, "Whoa, my gosh!" And then you just be a guy standing there with a big trash bag in his hand.
Dude.
I think he ended up being a future neighbor too, because it was like because I would see this guy, and I was like, I know I've seen this guy before.
Maybe it's like Meet Joe Black, when you kill that guy, like the devil possessed him and went on vacation. Or when you kill that werewolf. I don't know. That's really creepy. I've never heard this before.
Oh yeah, I would have dreams. The fog or around the plains or crops, and there would always be like somebody from school like turning into a werewolf. Because I'd always see these wolves all the time, and I was like the only one that would see it, so I just kept it to myself because no one would believe me.
Maybe you like killed your cousin or something. I don't know what's going on, dude. This podcast kind of took a turn.
I guess they call it skinwalkers. They call them. There's all kinds of like Native American lore and stuff like that.
Yeah. Huh.
Wolves. Oh, there's a famous anime. We Are Wolves. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Where everybody was descended from wolves, and then they just forgot how to turn back into wolves.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
I remember a guy at work telling me about this, and he's like, dude, I bawled my eyes out. It's like the only anime I ever watched. I just bawled my eyes out. I was like, wait, what? You want me to watch what? And I think it's called We Are Wolves. I'm not 100% sure. But, anyways, back to video games. I sent you a video.
Please.
I know you're stop breathing over there. I want to.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've never heard this. This is weird. but I'm rolling with it. Okay, what's this video?
Evo 37, Diago versus Justin, and Justin was the one video that was talking to Maximilian dude, was like the most famous video gamer, like fighting video gamer of all time. Maybe you could play it and react to it,
Maybe.
and then you can.
I
And then
think
you
I've
can
seen
edit
this
the
one.
video.
Have I seen this one? I think I may have.
Oh, it's
this...
madness. It's madness.
Huh. Yeah, this might. This is a different camera angle, but I think this match is pretty famous for everybody who don't know it, who's not into the internet lore. But yeah, y'all should be seeing it on screen, and this is insane. And then everyone's freaking out, and I edited this perfectly, and it's all timed up well, and audio's good, and that's what's happening right now.
It's 2004, and it's called Official Evo Moment 37.
Look at the TV they're playing on. That's crazy. Yeah, see, I played Guilty Gear. I think when I was in middle
Watch the whole
school.
video?
Yeah. It was only like 15 seconds, but I played Guilty Gear. In middle school, and I think it was like the best thing and the worst thing, because it's like spoiled me for any other fighting games, because it's like nothing's ever going to top that game, and I've put so many hours into that game. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, even this special Evo moment, they redid the game, the Street Fighter Third Strike, in HD, and they actually had that as one of the training to
Really?
see if you could pull off, because this was never done before, never seen by anybody's eyes. This guy was the first one, and then they videotaped it, and then it became famous, and it's called like a parry move, where like you're parrying the move and you're not getting any damage, and the guy had like 1 HP. So that's what the training was. You have 1 HP, and you were Ken, and you fought against Chun-Li, and you had to parry every single one of the super move, and then you had to do your super back.
Yeah, so that's the thing that Guilty Gear would do too, where you would have like challenge mode, and you would have like 100 challenges. I think if you did like 80 out of the 100, you unlock a character, and if you did 100 out of the 100, you unlocked another character. So
now you just pay money.
Now you pay money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get
I remember
the
watching y'all play
and,
that. Yeah, because that's how Evo was. I mean, Evo's so huge now. It's like one of the. I mean, it's on ESPN Sports because it's like an actual sporting event. And that's how mainstream. And it all started with a bunch of people in like a room saying, "Hey, let's play this game." And they do that with Smash Brothers. They do it with all these other old school fighting games.
I think Smash Brothers will always be. I'll take that back as far as no fighting game I never liked. Smash Brothers is probably one of them, but just because you play with a bunch of other people and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're the characters you grew up with.
Yeah.
Pokemon. What about Pokemon Stadium? I tell that story all the time at work about how we had Pokemon Stadium on the N64, and I didn't know Pokemon. Y'all watched it all the time. I pretty much had to watch what y'all had to watch because all y'all were like the same mentality or like the same stuff. So I was kind of like the oddball because I was like, no, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, because you're 6 years older than all of us.
Yeah, and I got outvoted. So it's like all that to one. I'm like, oh no. And I remember y'all saying, oh yeah, lightning beats rock, rock beats water, water beats fire. I don't know. And I remember like, oh, okay. And then whatever y'all would pick, I'd pick the opposite and then whoop y'all's tail in that game. And I loved it so much.
It's funny. You act
I had no idea.
Yeah, you act like you're not 6 years older, bigger, already went through puberty, beating the crap out of us. Like, oh, I got to watch what you guys watch. What? I think I remember it different.
Yeah, I just remember just like sitting there.
I remember a foot in my face.
My life. This is my life now. Like,
okay.
I remember watching Fox Kids when you were talking about Dragon Ball Z in the earlier podcast.
Hey, what? We watched Dragon Ball Z all the time. You had all the VHSs.
No, this is before.
You didn't know Pokemon?
Nobody
what are you talking about?
No, 85. That's when Dragon Ball, just like me being born,
Yeah.
Mario, 85 was like the best year ever. And I remember Fox Kids, and I had to be man, maybe it was 95, 94, 95, when Dragon Ball Z first started coming to the States, and it was coming to the West, and I was like, what is this? I don't want to watch it. It's so dumb. Turn it off.
Oh
Like, I don't know how y'all
gosh.
are watching this. And that was Fox Kids. That was before Cartoon Network, Toonami. Like, they had different voice actors.
Really?
And then they kind of they've redone it so many times and changed the colors of the Vegeta's hair, and they had different, voice actors. And then I remember as we got older, I would buy the VHSs, and you would line up the VHSs, and it would have like a certain art of the actual season, and you didn't know what it was until you bought all the VHSs, which could be like, 10 to 24.
And didn't they come out in groups? Like there would only be like 5 at a time or something, and then you'd have to wait to get
No,
the
it'd be
other.
like one. It would be one VHS, because that's how old it was, and there'd probably be like 5 or 10 episodes, maybe maybe 5 episodes. And so, what was that, $15 at the time, maybe
What
10,
a
$15.
racket!
Yeah, and I just remember buying it, and then I was like, "Oh, I gotta get it." It gets addictive. I remember taking y'all to Blockbuster and getting the anime series and renting it, and then you had to watch, episode or book two or season two.
Yeah.
Berserk, that was a famous one.
Oh
Berserk.
yeah, that was psycho. But I remember my buddy in elementary school. He was Mexican, and so he would go to Mexico, and apparently in Mexico they had all the seasons. So he was watching Dragon Ball GT, something that didn't come out until the late 2000s, while we were watching, the Cell Saga, or
Yeah,
not Cell,
because
but Vegeta.
out
You know what I
there,
mean?
well, different in Mexico, what would do is they would ship it to Mexico or Canada or even Texas, and then they'd re-edit it for Western audiences and make it like family friendly, and so it wasn't like uncut. So you'd
I,
always see those people at the mall like selling that little cubicle, like, "Hey man, come check out this new video I got from like Mexico," and you'd be like, "Wait, what? How much?" Because you just didn't know it's like a bootleg.
yeah, what was Goku, the Saiyan Man, right?
Yeah.
I remember him drawing Saiyaman like a decade before it came out on TV. I
Oh, that
always thought
was
that was so crazy.
actually his son. Go on.
Was it Gohan?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a secret identity. I remember watching that episode and just being mind blown. Like, I can't believe they're going down this route. This is so awesome.
Yeah,
And
and
then you
then
play him in a video game or you
yeah,
watch it now. It's like, what was I thinking? Like,
that's crazy.
yeah, I'm hoping you're showing all these pictures and stuff.
But
The
Cloudy
audience can
got
relate.
this, okay? Cloudy got this, okay? Leave it to me, brother man,
Yeah.
brother sucker.
Cloudy Emerald's going to go to Cloudy Platinum. I'm telling you
Ah,
after this.
Cloudy Platinum.
Diamond and then Platinum.
There we go.
You think of any other video games or references from our childhood?
I'm trying to think because I know the 64 was definitely big after the Super Nintendo, and
What
then
about the RAM pack? Do you remember the RAM pack you had to buy? I bought extra, and you'd put it in the front of the
oh my
console to
gosh,
boost the RAM and graphics.
that was so stupid. I don't know how many games we played on PlayStation or freaking because Zelda you could have the rumbling pack, but then certain games you had to have what was the red one, right? Like the memory card or the graphics card. There was one that came like base model that was like purple. So you would flip the switch in front of the 64 and there was like this little cartridge that was purple. But then you had to have the red one to play like the awesome games. Well, there was like a name for that cartridge, remember?
Like a shark, like the
No, no,
genie,
no, no,
shark
no.
genie.
Remember it was like I
I
don't know if
just
it
said
was
it what it was. It was
what
the
was it?
booster. It was the RAM booster,
Ram was that what it was called?
and it
Ram
was
Booster?
red. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
red,
red. See, I
and it
came
was
up with that
certain
just now.
games.
I'm glad I
It was
remember
either
that.
I'm pretty sure it was adult game, like a more mature games,
I
or
think
they had better graphics, and you couldn't play that game unless you had that booster.
and it was like late gen 64 games. That's when all of them started acquiring them. And I was so mad because I don't know if we ever had it. And then sometimes it would break or it'll mess up. And I just remember it being a big thing of like, okay, who has the red one? Does yours have the. No? Oh, you must be poor or something. And we
Yeah, I
never
mean,
had the
you'd
red
go
one.
down the neighbor's house, and they would have all these games and systems, and then when we got the Super Nintendo, we was by the time we got that, the other console was coming up. By the time we got the 64, the GameCube was coming up. By the time we got the GameCube, PlayStation 2
Yeah,
came out.
true, true.
And so, and I just thought it was so awesome because I'd go buy these things for y'all, and then we would all meet together.
Yeah.
I'd have people from school or people from work, and we would have like tournaments. 007, Halo. That was another one. Halo 2, I think, doing Xbox Live was like monumental because you were playing with people from across the world.
True. And that was one of
And
the.
then,
That was another thing to where mom took out her credit card and was like, "So you're telling me I have to put my credit card online to get this?" And that was another concept, which was like, "Whoa, we're putting money online. We have to spend this online." And I remember it being like a 3-hour setup just to get Xbox Gold because we didn't understand the concept of putting a credit card online and then buying something to play online.
oh, and I remember having your knucklehead brother create a gamer tag of a female's name and then thinking you could change it. I was telling this story to the younger groups at work too. Like, what do you mean? Well, back then, a lot of females didn't play online. And so when you had a girl name, everybody was just like hollering or hooting. And then,
Yeah.
you're on speaker. So everybody in the house can hear what's going on. Well, then I bought that one. I don't know if you remember on that Xbox, original Xbox, was like a walkie-talkie. I think I might still have it.
Walkie-talkie?
And it was see-through green, and it went into the controller. And when you push down the side buttons, or more like triggers, you would talk into it, and they would hear you only when you push down the button, like a walkie-talkie.
It was like a push to talk.
Yeah, and you can hear them through that little speaker too. And then they would hear you, then you'd hear them, and then it wasn't like you blasting like on the actual surround sound.
Yeah, I mean, I guess today too they have the same things where they have these little video game things like extras and add-ons and get this cartridge, get this speaker, get this mic, get this keyboard. It's all a shame to me, man. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely remember.
I'm telling you. Oh, do you remember the DS having the speakers and the magnifying glass?
Yeah, the magnifying glass.
And you slide it on there, it had the little light.
Oh my god!
To me, to this day, I think that's like the best technology because, I mean, it's probably worth thousands of dollars now, and we had it, and then sold it for the newer one, or traded it in. Or I remember you selling the games actually. I'd go get the case and open it up to play the game, and the game would be gone, and you would just sell the disc, and then you would keep the actual game box. Do you remember that?
Yeah, or I would barter. I remember this one guy who he was moving, and he's like, "Hey, give me your Final Fantasy game." I'm like, "What?" And like I sold it to him for like $20 or something before he left. I was like, "Hell yeah, $20."
I remember selling your chapstick.
Yeah, a chapstick for like
No,
to the Asian dude,
like the glass jar.
Yeah, to this Asian guy, he like pulled out a dollar bill in a pocket full of change or something, and was like, "Here, give me that." I don't even think he spoke English. I was like, "Okay, dude, here you go."
Oh, I remember spending all that money on those games, and then the Xbox catching on fire. And then not only when the Xbox catch on fire, I was like, "Who's making burnt cookies? Does it smell like burnt cookies?" And then like a week or two later, Xbox sends us a power cord saying, "Hey, our power cords are faulty. Make sure you change it out. People's houses are burning down." I'm like, "Well, too late, Xbox." And then the power cord they sent us had paint on it, so it was like a refurbished power cord. And I remember being done with Xbox for a long time, and then the 360 came out. We're like, "All right, let's put our money together." You talked me into it. I put my credit card this time online, and then it did the same thing. You get the red ring of death.
Hey, give me.
And then come to find out, the red ring of death.
Hold up.
What?
Yeah, man, that was a good point.
Yeah, that red ring of death. Come to find out that it was just your AV cables were loose. And I remember it sitting in the closet for like 2 years, and I traded it in, and they gave me money, and I got the newer Xbox, like Elite. And I remember selling that to a guy, and that that was a creepy story.
Oh,
hear another creepy story?
I guess, because that Red Ring of Death to me was just PR. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That Xbox was dead.
No, because they have videos now on YouTube where people go and try to fix the ring of death themselves.
I'm telling that's Microsoft paying somebody off.
I'm telling you, I remember spending so much money and then not giving your money back because you had to pay a year in advance, and you're like, "Oh man, that's ripped off." What?
I was on the phone for like 5 hours to like customer service, and it was like the worst experience. You had to have like an 18-digit code, and you have to like send off your Xbox, and then you have to
Yeah, and
like
it was
get a
my
different
credit card. I
code.
remember
And
making. I think I remember making y'all do that, and then I'm like, "This is y'all's deal. Figure it out," because it was my credit card, and I remember just not getting my money back.
I never remember doing anything. I think they made it so difficult for you because it got so bad to where it's like, okay, we'll refund every Red Ring of Death. But then you had to go through like 18 steps, call 18
Yeah, you
people
had the
in a
receipt.
different
Did you buy it?
country. You know
You had
what
to
I
buy it at
mean?
that certain date and time and month and
Yeah.
year.
It's such trash.
I went and sold the Xbox Elite to a guy from work, and I was going to buy the new Xbox, the Xbox One. And it was one of those things where like, hey, why don't you come over? We'll meet up,
Oh, God.
and and you bring cash, and then I could trade it. I'm like, wait, and then all these red flags. I'm like, nah, I'm more of like a private person, and I was like, no, we'll just, we're just talking about it. Everybody kept boosting it at work, like, hey, he's selling it, man. He's selling it for like 250 or 350 or whatever it was at the time. And I brought a whole box full of, I had all the HDMI cords, I had all the controllers, I had all the games. And the guy's like, no, I just want, GTA 5 or GTA 4, I think it was at the time, and the Xbox. And so, like, I parked at this place, which was a church, and I'm like, well, it says I'm going to get towed. It's, oh, dude, just park there. I'm like, well, where do you live? You live on the north side or south side? Oh, And I'm like, no, I'm asking you. Do you not know what north and south is? He's like, it's like on that one side of the street by that other side street. And then there was like these houses. And I'm like, okay, was it on the north side of the street or south side of the street? And I just remember finally getting through that. And then it's like this old house, 2-story, all these bushes, no parking whatsoever. So I'm parked across the street, 6 o'clock at night. Said, you're getting towed after 6. I walk in here. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to sell the stuff and then leave. I get in. The house is pitch black. There is one light bulb on a wire just hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, Jesus.
Pitch black. There was like a bike to my left and like some kind of like Harry Potter closet room underneath the stairs. And then there was like no couch, no TV, no nothing. I'm like, what is this guy going to play on? And I'm like, hello? Is anybody here? And the guy's like, follow me upstairs. And then he just starts walking up the stairs in the pitch black. And I'm like, no, I've seen this in tons of movies. This isn't. What? I'm too pretty for this. What are you talking about? And all these thoughts were going through my head. And I just remember the squeaky stairs and then going up. Nobody's there.
You went up?
Yeah, I went up there because I thought maybe his parents was up there. He had siblings.
Oh, God.
Nobody. This guy is so young, living in this abandoned house. And then we go plug all the stuff in. I'm showing, it says, 360 all over the thing. And it says it on the controller, it says it on the games, it says it on the console. And then I remember the guy like, oh, well, I got to go to the store and get money. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought you already did that. Hey, you want to play some games? I was like, nah, I got to get going. He didn't want any extra games. He just wanted the one game, the wires, one controller, 2 controllers, whatever. And I think I ended up charging him more for the HDMI because I have some really good HDMI cords. And I think I was like, yeah, dude, if you want to like buy this house or like rent here, and you and your family can like live here. And
Oh, God.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh, and that guy at work, I said, that dude's like old and has a family. Why would he buy this house? I mean, it was so strange because I don't think his parents lived there. They just owned like an extra house, and the guy was just like a squatter.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, he was like a heroin addict, and he sold everything he owned, and he was losing his life.
And no, it was just one of those guys that he would talk to you about something, and then 3 months later, he would finish that conversation, and you're like, wait, what now? Yeah, man, I had some sushi bad the other day, got real sick, you can't eat stuff raw meat. And I'm like, wait, what? And then 3 months later, he would talk about the sushi again, and I'm like a child, and you're just like, wait, I gotta remember what was 3 months ago. What did we talk about? Or he would say, hey, man, you ever played that Las Vegas game? I can't remember what the game's called, but he says it every time. Fallout Las Vegas, man, is where it's at. I want to bring you a copy. Yeah, because this guy, I'm telling you, it was so creepy. And the guy called me like an hour later threatening me. saying, "You told me it was a new Xbox One." I said, "Dude, it says 360 on the front
You
and on the
probably did tell him
controller."
that. I
No,
kind of
and even the
believe him.
people at work,
Are
because
you
I'm like, "Dude,
charging
it's
his ass extra
360."
for HDMI? It comes with the system. I mean, you probably. I don't know. I kind of believe this guy.
Oh, and then it was a big thing at work, and the guys were like, "Dude, we all told you it was a 360." And the dude was threatening me, kept hanging up on me, like, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna." Dude, it was so creepy,
That's weird,
and
man.
that's why I don't hang out with people outside work
Yeah.
because something always happens weird.
No. Yeah, I was going to say I had a similar situation, but it sounded like you was almost getting kidnapped. I had a dude, he was like a country guy at my job. We worked third shift together, and he lived like 2 hours away, and like out in the country. And he came up to me seriously, like, "Hey, so how much would it cost to rent like a corner of your apartment with you and your wife?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm trying to find someone to where I could just a little corner. I'll have my bed. That way." I could live there Monday through Friday. I don't have to drive home, and then I would just go home during the weekend. So how much would that cost? I'm like, that's not gonna. I thought he was joking at first, but apparently he like went up to me and he went up to a couple of other dudes and was seriously like, "Hey man, let me rent out part of your apartment and like just live with you and this single guy with like no family, no friends, or no nothing." I'm like, yeah, I
I'm
don't
telling you,
know.
that's how these people are. They're like, "Oh, my
I
dad
don't
was a
know.
mortician. I'm kind of crazy." And then the guy started playing saxophone downtown. He's like, "Hey, join my channel."
I
But the
need to
guy,
talk to
we
this
still
guy.
talk.
Where's this guy at? I need him on the podcast.
Oh, he's the same guy. I'm telling you, because it's like no matter how much I try to get away from this
He
guy,
didn't change into a werewolf and like run away or something? He's safe?
no, I'm telling you, he. And then he becomes a supervisor, and then now he's like, "Oh, you're dead to me.
Oh
You're a
god.
supervisor now. Like I've saved your job. I've helped you with this, helped you with that."
They put
And
this
then the
guy, the
guy, the
werewolf guy in
first
power.
thing, no, the first thing he says to me at work was, "Hey, did you delete me off YouTube? Did you unsubscribe? Hey guys, he unsubscribed for me because he's mad at me." And that was like his number one thing. And I'm just thinking about the house with the string and like the light bulb, and that's all he had for light in the whole entire house
Oh my
was that one light
gosh.
bulb. And I'm like, "Oh, why is this dude still in my life?"
Oh. Well, I
And
think.
I'm still subscribed to him, and I
Oh.
never told him. I To this day he thinks I'm mad at him and unsubscribed.
You subscribe to him, but not to Cloudy? Got
Oh
you.
yeah, Cloudy. That's it. I'm telling you, Cloudy and
Well,
Maximilian, dude.
that was a creepy story, and I think that's the perfect story to end off on Friday the 13th, my 13th guest. And I'm going to name this like episode 14, by the way, just to piss you off. So, thank you, Indian Wolfman, for finally coming on, hanging out with me. Didn't want to do it, and then look, you jabba jaw for an hour.
That tons more stories. It's always good hearing your side because I only remember one side, and then I hear your story, and it almost put me in tears. Like you're talking so highly about my art and my personality, and I'm like, I mean, you do so much for your brothers, and you never think of anything else in return. And then when they do something, you're just like, I'm just not used to it. So, and like I said, I'm a super fan. I watch your stuff. I comment. I scream at the TV. We laugh. We have daily quotes from all your podcasts and videos. "Calm down, pig" is like probably one of our go-to sayings.
And real quick,
And
behind the scenes, after I uploaded that very first podcast, I sent it to my mom, I sent it to you, I sent it to a couple other people, and then at the same time, I got called from you and Mimi, earlier guest, previous guest, first guest, external guest. And I remember we talked about it after we did the first one, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. So definitely that phone call and those comments, and thank you for those comments and watching and liking, and that's definitely why I'm doing this now. So
yeah, we do a quote for you because you sound like Johnny Five. "Need input, input, need input," and that's what we say every time we hear you say input. "Hey,
do I
what's your
say
input?"
input?
"Hey, I need some input." Yeah, you say it a lot.
Oh,
We quote that movie. You have to put a picture of him in there, like a little video saying "need input."
I need to put a picture of Indian Wolfman telling me I need to put a picture into something.
No.
Well, Wolfman, this is the first podcast with you of probably many. Let's be honest, I don't know many people. So, we'll have to do this again real soon. Thanks, man, for coming on. And please like and subscribe and end this out.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shout out to Proto. Shout out to Video Games. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to Cloudy for doing this awesome podcast and teaching us things, and we're teaching him things. And stay cloudy.
Ooh, stay cloudy, y'all. Peace. Actually, I don't like saying peace anymore. Stay cloudy.
Stay cloudy.